Hello, Moving Beyond Fear group members. Hi, happy Wednesday. It is Sarah. I am here for the very next episode of the Love Over Fear show. If you are not familiar with me, if you don't know me, hi, welcome. Thanks for being here. I am the lead body-mind integration expert here at Healing Embodied. That means that I work alongside of founder and CEO Chelsea Horton, who I know everybody here is familiar with. I get to run many of our group embodiment sessions in our two group programs, the Luscious Love Immersion and Freedom to Love Mastermind. I get to support our Safety Within self-study participants, and I also get to support our alumni in our brand new alumni nurture program, which I love. It's amazing. I'm also rocking my Healing Embodied merch today. Heyo, I'm so excited about it. It is a little bit too cold here in Philly today to wear a t-shirt, but I've just decided in my head that I'm done wearing winter clothing. Does anyone else do that? A certain time of year hits and you're just it's not winter anymore. I just start wearing t-shirts and tank tops and lighter jackets and cropped jeans and stuff, but it's still 55 degrees out. It's not very rational, but I do it anyway, so here we are. Anyway, back on topic here, Sarah. Welcome to the Love Over Fear show. If you are brand new, if you've never tuned in to one of these shows before, thank you so much for being here, first and foremost. Let me tell you a bit about what this show is all about. So, Chelsea and I decided to start the Love Over Fear show a couple of months ago. This series is kind of a combination sort of thing. This is TED Talk meets talk show meets podcast meets educational series sort of thing. We just kind of put all these things together. We mashed it together. We wanted to find a way to provide support and education and talk about these various topics and parts of ROCD and relationship anxiety. And we wanted to do it in a way that was fun and that felt empowering and inspiring and uplifting, and thus the Love Over Fear show was born. So we do this show with the mindset that you can feel madly, deeply, wholly in love and also experience fear all at the same time. Those can exist at the same time. They often do. But we want to help you choose love over fear, hence the name, every single time, okay? So the two main driving forces in our behaviors as humans is love and fear often, and we want to help you act out of love way, way, way more often than you're acting out of fear. That's why we're here. That is why we do what we do. This is why Healing Embodied exists. This is why this show exists. I often feel this is why I exist on this planet, but that might get a little existential for us today. So let's jump on in. Today's episode is how to stop freaking out about decision making. I love this topic. I'm super passionate about it. I often find myself just paralyzed with indecision over the most basic choices, like what to wear, how to do my hair, what kind of deodorant to use, what to eat for lunch, paralyzed. And I used to think that this was because I was just a chill, go with the flow, no, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to watch, whatever you want to eat, that's fine, doesn't matter to me. We'll just do whatever you want, I'm cool, I'm chill, I'm fine, right? That's what I used to think. No. I have since realized that this indecision is totally 100% a pattern and a function of my anxiety. So I know that I am not the only one. So I am here to educate a little bit on decision making today, give some tips and some tricks, and lovingly, caringly call y'all out on some of this indecision that's happening. If you are here live, I see a couple of people jumping on and watching. Drop me a comment below. Sometimes I don't see comments pop up on my computer, but say hi anyway. I will catch them later if I don't see them today while I'm talking. Okay. I'm kind of cheating. I said I wear like tank tops and stuff because it's summer in my mind now, but I'm still drinking like hot tea. So, all right, let's dive in. So, freaking out around decision making can actually be a pattern of anxiety. So, why is decision making so hard for those of us with ROCD or relationship anxiety or just anxiety in general? There's a couple different reasons, and I want to highlight 3 of them today. The first one is that we only see the bad outcomes or possibilities, the painful, the horrendous, the fear-based possibilities. That's all we see. We get hyper-focused on them. So those of us with anxiety, particularly ROCD or relationship anxiety, we tend to see the world through fear-tinted glasses. Okay? So what I mean by this is if you put on a pair of sunglasses and they were purple, everything you look at is going to have a slight purplish tint to it. It's not that everything is just going to be completely washed out purple, but everything is going to have a little bit of a purpley tint to it, right? When you are in an anxious mindset, it is as if you are wearing sunglasses that are tinted with fear. Everything you look at has this like just fear glow to it, right? You're just seeing everything through this lens of fear. So when we're seeing the world like this, and it comes time to make a decision or make a choice, no matter how small that decision or choice is, we can only see the possible bad outcomes. Okay, let me give you an example. And I see a couple people here watching. Say hi. Let me know if you relate to this. Do you also suck at decision making? I can't be the only one. Tell me if you also suck out there at decision making. So an example of only seeing the bad. Let's say your friend calls you and invites you and your partner to a party or to a double date or to go hang out. And all you can think is like, oh my God, but what if we go and then they ask me a question and I don't want to answer the question, and what if I have intrusive thoughts the whole time and I don't have any fun, and then my partner doesn't have any fun, and my friends hate me and they never want to see me again and they never invite me back, and what if they judge my partner and they don't think that he's cute enough or she's pretty enough for me, and what if then blah 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 blah, right? This is what happens. It's kind of a form of catastrophizing, if anybody has heard that word, catastrophizing, before. That refers to like making things out to be way worse or way more dangerous than they actually are. This is a bit of a like kind of crude example, so take this with a grain of salt here. But those of us experiencing anxiety, we often make decisions and view decisions as if they are life and death, right? It's like almost as if there was a gun to our head or to someone else's head. We're viewing the decisions we make and our choices and what we do in life as if everything is this huge catastrophic life or death situation, right? And in reality, it's not. Some decisions have a lot more weight than others, or might impact us or others in a much bigger way. But they're not as catastrophic as those of us with anxiety tend to make them out to be. Okay? So that's one reason that decision making is so hard for those of us with ROCD. Another reason is because we are terrified of making the wrong choice and disappointing others. Don't want to disappoint other people. This is where my anxiety tends to hang out, like 99.9% of the time. It's terrified of me disappointing other people, particularly my partner, but honestly, everybody. We can become like paralyzed when it comes to making decisions because we're so afraid of making the wrong choice or choosing something that's going to negatively impact other people or how they'll feel about us. We like freak out about this possibility of disappointing other people. An example of this is like if, my husband and I, we order dinner usually once a week. It's a pandemic treat. Don't judge. Well, you can judge if you want. But if he says like, okay, I don't care what we eat tonight, you pick. I want tacos. Okay, like I'm super in the mood for tacos. I love Mexican food. That's what I want to do. But I can find myself like paralyzed at just saying like, all right, let's get tacos, because I'm freaking out about the possibility that, well, what if I get tacos but he doesn't want tacos, or he doesn't like his tacos, and then they taste bad, and then he's disappointed, and then I've disappointed him, and this choice that I've made has negatively impacted his night, and his night's going to be ruined because of something that I did. That's where my anxiety goes. It's terrified of choosing something that could potentially disappoint other people, okay? Or you might be terrified of choosing a partner that doesn't perfectly align with what your family wants for you. You might freak out that your partner isn't going to match this view of what your family wants. Or you might be freaking out of, what if I bring this guy home and my parents don't like him, and then I've disappointed them and they're looking down on me as a daughter? Or what if I bring, my girlfriend out with my friends and my friends don't like her, and then they're viewing me badly, and then I've disappointed them and their night's going to be bad and they're not going to want to spend the rest of the time with me? You can hear how exhausting it is, right? What happens when we get trapped in this portion, or this process, when we're terrified of making the wrong choice and disappointing other people, is that we can start to make decisions based solely around other people's wants and needs, or our perceptions of what other people want and need. And this can be really, really tough and sticky, because we can end up not meeting our own needs, and we might build some resentment towards these other people, right? If we take the taco example, if I really, really, really want tacos, but I am going in my head, and I'm like, but what if my husband doesn't want tacos? He was talking about Chinese food recently. He really likes that Chinese restaurant. I think he's probably going to want Chinese, even though he said he didn't care. Let's just order Chinese. Let's order that because I think he's going to be way happier. And then my food comes and I don't want Chinese food and it doesn't taste good and I don't like it. I can start to build some resentment towards him. He didn't do anything, but I can feel some resentment building of like, I only got this Chinese food because I thought that he was going to want it, and now I don't like the Chinese food. And you see what I'm saying, right? We can build that in our relationships, like towards our parents. If we're just constantly trying to pick a partner who's going to satisfy our parents and make them happy, we can have resentment towards them or towards our partner for not fulfilling that perfectly. See where I'm going with this? It's dangerous and it's sticky. The third reason that decision making can be so difficult, I see someone here watching. You guys might be commenting. I just can't. Maybe I can't see it. If you're commenting, wish I could see it. And if you're not, let me know you're here. So the third reason that I want to talk about that makes decision making so hard is that we're terrified of making the wrong choice for ourselves. those of us with ROCD and relationship anxiety often have really, really strict, rigid ideas of what our lives should look like. I just did a whole group on expectations earlier this morning with our Luscious Love participants. So this is really on my mind. When we have ROCD and relationship anxiety, we should all over ourselves. All over ourselves. This can come, these shoulds, these expectations can develop from our upbringing. It can be what we've seen modeled for us, what we were taught. It can come from religion. It can come from what's valued in society or what you've seen on social media or seen modeled for you in society. Okay? Anxiety loves boxes. It loves trying to fit things perfectly into a box. So we can develop these really, really strict views of what's right and what's wrong. And we're terrified of deviating from this. We are terrified of making a decision that's wrong, or and that wrong decision is somehow going to mess up our whole lives or what our lives are supposed to look like. You know, if I pick the wrong partner, then I've messed up my whole life, or I've disappointed my parents or God, or this isn't what it's supposed to be like for me. Or, you know, if my partner has one tiny little flaw, then I've made the wrong decision. Or if I choose, you know, the wrong thing to do for myself, if I choose the wrong career, if I choose the wrong school, if I choose the wrong neighborhood to live in, wrong. Put little air quotes around all of those wrongs, because there is really no right or wrong, right? But we get so terrified of deviating from that. And that can make decision making so hard because we're holding ourselves to this extreme rigid standard. Okay. Does anybody relate to those? Those are three of the big reasons decision making can be so hard. We only see the bad outcomes. We're terrified of disappointing others, and we're terrified of making the wrong choice for ourselves. I know I can relate to all of those. Okay, so good news is that we are not just like powerless and doomed to be terribly indecisive for the rest of our lives. We are not just victims to this. Okay, if you suck at decision making, like me, you do not have to suck at decision making forever. It is a skill. It is like learning to ride a bike, okay, or learning to cook, learning to read, learning to speak. It is a skill. We can learn it and we can improve it. And it will improve a lot of areas of your life very drastically. Okay, so sorry, it's super dry in here today, so I'm like chugging my tea. Let's talk about a couple ways that we can remedy this, okay? For those of you who are like me, who suck at making decisions, let's talk about what we have to do, okay? Number one is that we have to go inward, and we got to figure out what it is about decision making that is so difficult for you. I've told you some specific reasons why decision making tends to be so hard for those of us with relationship anxiety or ROCD, but you got to figure out what it is for you. What's that underlying fear for you? Like in my taco example, it has nothing to do with the tacos or the Chinese food. It's about the fear of disappointing my partner and what I think that would mean about me and our relationship. That's the fear. Okay, there it is, right there. The learning to make decisions is not about figuring out, do I really want tacos or Chinese food? It's not about that. It's about figuring out what's holding you back from making that decision. What's that underlying fear, and how can we dig into that? Okay, so if you're watching this, we're going to do a little practice here. All right, sit back, relax. We're going to practice. So, I want you to pick a decision that you have been struggling with recently, or one that you've struggled with in the past. It can be big or small. This is just an exercise. It doesn't have to be the biggest decision you've ever made. Okay? It can be something tiny, or it can be something big. It's up to you. Okay? When you have it in mind, I want you to ask yourself, what is it about this decision that is so troubling for me? What is it that I'm afraid of? Just be curious about that. Okay, take a moment. What is it about this decision that is so troubling for me? What is it that I'm afraid of? Sit with that for a moment. And ask yourself, what's happening to me right now as I'm trying to make this decision? What's happening? Am I feeling paralyzed? Am I judging other people's decisions? Am I judging myself for not making this decision? Am I trying to look outside of myself for the answer? Am I thinking through 100 million bajillion possibilities before I can possibly budge and move and make a choice? Am I doubting everything? Am I only focusing on the bad outcomes? Am I comparing my choice to everyone else's or past decisions I've made? All of the above. Okay, so what's happening right now? Okay, we asked, what is it that I'm afraid of? Why is this so troubling? What's happening as I'm trying to make this choice? What's going on? Then I want you to ask, if I made a decision right now, what do I think would happen? What's the terrible thing that I think would happen? Would I disappoint others? Would I screw up my whole life? Would I disappoint God? I think I froze, so I'm just pausing for a minute here. Okay, sorry, I think I lost connection, but I'm back. Okay, so we're asking, if I made the decision right now, what do I think would happen? What's the terrible thing that I think would happen? How would I feel if that happened? What would that mean about me? That would mean that I'm unworthy. I would feel so sad. I would feel guilty. I would feel grief. I would feel really, really angry. I would feel so left out. I would feel really dumb. How would you feel? And then finally, I want you to ask, if that happened, could I tolerate it? Could I tolerate it? If I felt stupid, if I felt dumb, if I felt unworthy, if my parents were really upset with me, if my partner was really upset with me, can I tolerate that? Is that going to kill me? Is that going to kill me? I can almost guarantee you that the answer is probably going to be no. I mean, yes. No, it's not going to kill you. Yes, you could tolerate it. Can I tolerate it? Yeah, it's going to suck, but I could tolerate it. Okay, that's step one. You got to figure out what's actually going on under there. Okay, don't stay at the surface level of these decisions. Dig in deeper. What are we actually afraid of? What are you actually afraid of here? All right, let's get like really brutally honest and non-judgmental with ourselves here, and let's dig in. What's actually going on here? Okay. All right, step 2. We need to build self-trust. Heyo, build self-trust. We need to build this foundation that no matter what happens, I'm going to survive it. Okay, the freaking out about decisions actually isn't about the decision. It is all about the fear of what would happen because of that decision, or what that decision would mean about you, or your life, or your relationship, or if you made the wrong decision, what would happen? That's what the freak out is about. It's not about the choice you're making. It's about everything that could or would happen because of that choice. All right, so we need to build some self-trust. When we don't trust ourselves and we don't trust in our own resilience, then of course decision making is terrifying. Of course it is. If you genuinely believe in your heart that if you pick the wrong partner or the wrong place to get dinner or the wrong way home, or that is going to somehow ruin your life, yeah, you're never going to make any decisions. You're just going to be paralyzed in fear all the time. Okay? So we need to build this level of self-trust where you might still feel fear around decision making. I know that I do, and I've been working on this a long time, ladies and gents. But you trust that no matter what, you will be okay. You will be able to tolerate it. Okay? Even if I order tacos and my husband's tacos taste bad and they give him food poisoning and he ends up in the hospital, yeah, that's gonna suck. It's gonna be pretty awful. But I can tolerate it. It won't be sunshine and rainbows. Don't confuse tolerating with liking or feeling good. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying no matter what, you're gonna feel fine. No matter what, you'll feel good, you'll feel great. No, you might feel awful, but it won't kill you. You can trust that you will get through it. No matter the consequences of the decision you make, you can tolerate them. You can get through it. Okay? We need to build that level of self-trust, because then you can start to see choices for what they really are. Not this, oh my God, the choice that I make of what we order for dinner tonight is gonna decide whether I can stay with my husband or whether he's gonna divorce me, right? No, I can see it as this choice is just, what are we gonna eat for dinner tonight? And if he hates it or if I hate it, that sucks. But it's fine. We'll get through it. Even if he's really, really mad at me for ordering the tacos, I can tolerate that. Okay? Gotta build that self-trust. The next thing we need to do, drum roll please, we need to start making some decisions. Hey! The same way that we have to actually feel our tough emotions in order to get better at feeling them and learn that they're not so scary, we gotta make some decisions in order to get better at it and realize that not every decision is life and death. Okay? No more being like me and shirking off the responsibility to others or doing what I did and just letting everybody else decide things and hiding behind this facade of like, I'm just chill, go with the flow, you can do whatever, I'm cool. No, you need to do it, all right? You gotta rip the Band-Aid off and you gotta start making some damn choices here, people, okay? This is where I'm gonna lovingly call y'all out on this. And I know because I've been there. If I hadn't been there, I wouldn't be calling y'all out on it right now. Start small if you need to, okay? Start small. Start by picking where you're gonna order dinner from. Can you tell that I hate picking where to order dinner from? I've used that example like 52 times today. It's my place. Or decide what kind of like beer or wine you're gonna buy. Decide what route you're gonna take driving home. Decide what movie you're gonna watch or what game you're gonna play. Start small, okay? Start small, but just start doing it. Start doing it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Do it, all right? My husband has been I'm only saying this because he's not listening. If he were down here, I would never say this. He's been a huge help for me in this, as irritating as it is, because he forces me to make decisions. If he were ever to be a therapist, like in another life, which wouldn't be good, that would not be a good career choice for him. However, if he were, I guarantee you he would be like an ERP clinician, exposure and response prevention. I promise you that's what he would do. Because he just forces me to make choices. He will tell me, like, you pick what we're going to eat or what we're going to do, and then he'll just walk away. Or he will wait there and not help me. And if I'm like, but what are you in the mood for? Or like, would you rather watch this or this? Or do you want to watch a movie or something scary or something funny? He'll just be like, you choose. This is on you. You choose. I like decision making to be a little collaborative, especially with him, because my anxiety is super, super freaked out about disappointing him specifically, and he knows this, so he just throws me to the wolves. It's some major exposure, and I hate it, but holy crap, it has made me so much better at making decisions in our relationship. So much better. Okay? So you've got to start making some choices, people. Maybe you get your partner or a close friend to help you, and you kind of make it a game. Like, you decide that like you have to pick the activity one night a week, or like you invite someone to go somewhere specific with you. Like, instead of just like, hey, let's hang out. Like, hey, do you want to go to this burger joint with me at 5 o'clock on Friday? Something like that. You make it fun, make it easy, maybe not easy, but simple, okay? Maybe you decide like one night a week or one night a month. Let's go one night a month or something. Like, you and your partner decide that you are gonna like make all of the choices of like what you do in the bedroom or something. That could be fun. Okay, so be lighthearted with it, all right? Let's find some humor. Let's laugh a little bit, but you gotta start making the damn decisions, people. You gotta do it. There's no way around it. You just gotta do it. Okay? The final thing that you have to do is you gotta move. You gotta move your body. All right? The responses that are happening around decision making, like being paralyzed by it, or having to go through 1,000,001 possibilities, or only seeing the bad, all of these responses, they're happening on a nervous system cellular level. Okay? It's happening in your body. And we have to move in order to teach our anxiety that we can be safe in decision making. Okay? We have to move our indecision. We have to move self-trust. We have to move decisiveness. All right? If you just try to say like, I'm going to muscle through it, I'm going to make these choices, it's going to be so much more torturous than if you can like move in it and find out how to access fluidity in yourself. Or if you're terrified of disappointing others and feeling unworthy, you got to connect to that part of you that feels unworthy and give her or him some love. Okay? You got to move. In the words of one of my idols, Marsha Linehan, she's the creator of DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, which y'all know I have a little bit of a love affair with. In the words of her, you can't think your way into acting differently. You can only act your way into thinking differently. Okay, we can't just think our way into new behaviors. We got to do the behaviors in order to change our thinking. It's a bottom-up approach. It is what we live by here at Healing Embodied. That you can't just outthink this. You can't just be like, Sarah's right. She said I have to make decisions, so I'm going to be good at decision making now. This is a nervous system issue. We got to move that stuff. Okay? That's what you got to do. All right? We got to figure out what is actually going on. What is it for you that's so scary about decision making? It's different for everyone. So what is it for you? We got to build self-trust. We got to start making decisions, and we got to move. Boom. There it is. There is your prescription. That is what the doctor has ordered. There's your prescription. That's what you got to do. Okay? So, if you are ready to work on this, if you are feeling super called out by everything I just said, if you are like, that is me, I can't make decisions, I hate making decisions, they're so scary, I'm terrified of disappointing others, or I'm terrified that I'm going to make the wrong choice and ruin my life, or that I'm going to pick the wrong partner, or I can only focus on the awful things that could happen. If that is you, and if you are feeling ready to work on this, here's a decision you can make. join the Safety Within self-study course. Okay, that is our very foundational level of support here at Healing Embodied. It's a self-study course. You do it on your own, but you're part of a very supportive Facebook community throughout the process. We have an entire module 3 in that program is all about everything I just said. Not just decision making, but there is a video on self-trust. There's a video on empowerment. There's a video on decisiveness. There is a video on moving from being overwhelmed into feeling grounded, okay? Along with a bunch of videos on gaining a deeper understanding of what's actually happening with your ROCD and learning a bunch of tools to regulate in the nervous system. Everything we just talked about is going to be there, okay? It's an incredible, incredible course. It's only $350 and you have lifetime access to it, okay? There's a decision you can make. If you've been listening to the Love Over Fear show, if you've been following us for a long time, if you've been watching our Instagram, if you watch these videos, if you've seen the old Q&As and embodiment practices, and you're like, I still suck at making decisions, here's a choice for you to make. Trust yourself, trust the process, trust this work, take the risk. Yes, there's risk. Of course there's risk. There always is. Rip off the Band-Aid and do it. Dive in today, okay? This course is going to help you build all of the tools that you need. It's going to do it through movement. There's no way around it. You got to have the movement in there. Promise you. Okay? There you are. There's your decision. Okay? You can choose to be like, oh, that was cute, Sarah. Thanks so much. That was helpful. And close the computer and go about your day and not change anything. Sure. Go ahead. That's fine. That's your choice. If you want to keep living how you're living and keep not making decisions or keep making decisions based on other people, that's fine. Doesn't bother me. But if you are ready to change that, and if you are ready to make this decision and stop beating around the bush and take the risk and trust yourself, you know what to do. You know what to do. I don't know what song that was, but it just came to me and I like it. All right. That's it for me today, y'all. I'm going to start getting goofy if I stay on here any longer. Thank you so much for joining. It was so fun talking to you guys about decision making. As you can tell, I am very passionate about it because it is something that I've struggled with for so long in my life, and I still work on it every single day. And I'm very passionate about helping other people break this pattern. I am not about staying in the patterns. I don't do stay miserable therapy. I don't do it. We dive in, okay? If you're ready, I want to work with you. Check out the link, check out the Safety Within course. If you feel like you need like even higher level of support, we do have our most immersive program, the Freedom to Love Mastermind, coming up. You can read all about that at our website. I won't go into that today. Check out the self-study course as a beautiful first step. All right, my dears, take care. Have such a good day.